Well, we got her lifted up. Got a couple tires rebeaded, except this time we went from the 29-inch 2.0 Bighorns to 30-inch Carnivores. So we'll get a little more ride height. We'll sit them up next to those 2.0 stock ones. Kind of wish the XDS just came with 30-inch tires to begin with. It would have been nicer. Aside from the fact that the 2.0s they're nothing to get excited about having. But I mean they're okay for traction. It's just they don't handle a whole lot, and those ones are sitting at like 27 or 26 and 3/4 inches at 12 psi. So they're really not 29s at all. I do like my car down low. I don't want to go in too high. This will give it a little bit of a lift, which is fine. I want to put it up a little bit more, but here we are. We're gonna put some freshies on here. So they were redone on the beads. There's the old tires behind there. You can see how much smaller they are in general. But we did go 30s on the stock rims, all 10s all the way around, which is a better setup as well. So we're gonna compare those to those. I'll rip those off and get those back tires on, so we're 10s all the way around. See how this looks. Too bad the unit's so dirty, but whatever. Let's do this. Okay, so here you can really tell what I was talking about. So I will definitely get some lift out of there. I mean, you're talking, there's a solid three, maybe 3 and a touch. So I'm glad I didn't go to 32s. I didn't want too big of tires on here. This will change everything. I think my clutching and everything I'll handle the 30s pretty darn good. I'm not worried about losing a tiny bit of top end or speed or whatever. I mean, we're 195 horse as it is. I think it'll handle it all fine. So I think it'll give it a beefier look for sure. Looks wise, I think they're going to perform just as good in pretty much all the terrain that we have up here. And it's going to give me that little bit of lift at the back, because it's amazing. I'm only at 13 at the back. I know it's jacked up so it looks lower right now, but I want to be at that 14 and a half, 14 minimum, 14. And right now it's just sitting down at 13 and a quarter, 13 and a half at the front. So if I get the whole X3 up to 14 and a half, I'm going to be way happier. So this looks like it's going to give me a close to 1.5 inch lift off the back as it is. It's just, I know you're going to bump things all the time, but it's one of those things that just would feel nice not to bump. I'm bumping a lot of stuff at the 13. It makes a big difference there. So the machine's capable of doing some crazy obstacles and all that stuff, but I want it to be doing it without killing it all the dang time. Alright, so we haven't got the backs on yet. We're going to take care of that. You can just tell by looking right away though how much different the 30s are to the 29s. It's only 1 inch different by manufacturer specs, but it's obviously way huger in person. So yeah, you can see the height being lifted up. We're going to have to wiggle this down right now because it's sitting up. Oh my god, it's probably, honestly looks like it's sitting at like 18 inches. So we'll have to wiggle this back and forth, settle everything down once we're done. But yeah, as dirty as it is, it kind of looks cool with the fresh tires on there. Makes it wonder how you kept them clean. But yeah, let's get these backs on. Okay. Here's my funny looking one. Can I go over it anymore? Lucky. Alright, let's get this. I'm going to beef it up one more time because these tires are taller. Lock it up. Let's go. Put it down. Stick one more block in there so when I come back with the taller ones, we will actually be able to get them. Oh, this thing, I tell you. Love it when things stop working right. Okay, we'll just stick another block because we gotta go about need another 2 inches. So you get to see when you raise it. You get to see the camber and the scrub and everything, how it goes when the wheels travel up and down. It's quite a crazy amount that it actually shrinks inward. But so to do the true measurements, once we get all the tires on, we gotta roll this machine. I'll start it up and roll it back and forth a few times with my weight in there as well, and then we'll do the final measurements on where I got to front and back for ground clearance there. So one other thing we did too, we had to, because going to 10s, we ended up gaining a bit of width. So because they were offset before, they're 9s on the front, 11 on the back. Now that we're all 10s, we've actually lost a tiny bit on the back. So to help with that, what we did is we got some, don't like using them if you don't have to or whatever, but just to make everything about right, is we got some old spacers there for the back. So that'll pull it out. I'll see if I like it, if I feel like I really need it, whatever. These are the Can-Am, the Dragonfire version of these. So I know there's lots of spacers out there that are a little junkier and stuff like that, not as strong. So we got the stronger setup there. Hopefully this doesn't cause a lot of trouble with the calipers and stuff like that with the rims by moving it out. Don't want to be getting a bunch of stuff jammed in down there, but we'll find out. I'm gonna measure the width, how bad it is, once all the new tires are on. Maybe it's not as bad and I don't need them. Maybe it'll be a good thing to have. We'll find out. All right, we are back. We are going to throw these spacers on here, as our tires are now narrower at the back, a little wider at the front. So hopefully this kind of makes up the difference and keeps my front and back fairly equal. We will find out. So I mean, one thing, a lot of people talk about these scrapers in here. You can tell where they some good stuff. Some people like to cut them off or alter them and do stuff like that. I'm going to leave them this time with my rims. I know otherwise you go 15-inch rims, then you got a little more space because the rocks get in between the rims here and catch and bind up here and punch back and kick back into the rims, which they absolutely do. And I got one rim with that happened pretty good. So I will, you know, I'll maybe take the chance with it for a while, see how it goes down the road, go to bigger rims. Also another thing too with spacers, which I'm not crazy about. I mean, there are cons to the spacers as far as just the geometry of the suspension and how it works and scrubbing and all this kind of stuff. For what we do and the riding we do, I don't believe it's going to be a monster deal, beating and banging around the bushes all the time, stuff like that. When I go to the dunes, the spacers come off anyways, and I got the right set of rims and tires for all that anyways. So up here, we'll try it out and see what happens for a bit. And so I'll just throw the other one on here real quick. Just make sure, you know, clean off the spider webs and the dust and the dirt around there before we put the spacers on so they sit nice and flat. Pretty much just light dust anyway. So yeah, it's just hey, can't get in, we're locked out. Hey, I know this is totally completely irrelevant there, but my Olds over there still has the tape deck, and I came across a few of these today. DJ, Jazzy, Jeff, and the Fresh Prince. Beastie Boys. Some old bullshit. License to Ill. And good old Bob Marley. So we'll see. These are funny. I haven't looked at them. I forgot about how you gotta break off those little tabs to record and all that stuff and whatever. We'll see how it is, but it's a cool find. Wasn't expecting that. Maybe they don't even work. Anyways, let's get back here and yeah, open this up and get these tires here. So like I said, one of these had a good knock inside. Yeah, I can see it right here. So ready? Kaboom, right there. So it's you can tell where the rock really hit and went around in there. And then, so there you go. There's your nice bulge. So it, whoops, try to hold this steady here. So when it came around to the scrapers, it must have dented and plowed the rock in there. Then with the pressure back, it probably helped bulge it back the other way. So, I mean, it's not cracked, it's holding out, holding there and all that kind of stuff right now. So it's not the best thing, but you can imagine over time you might end up with, you know, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those things. So I'm assuming this one happened over here, right there, probably where it caught nailed that there. So we'll show you when the tires go back on there how that's going to affect everything, and same with the brake calipers, which used to be completely covered. Now we'll see how these tires are going to sit a little bit out and leave them a little unprotected possibly, as well as the rocks splattering the heck out of this and the tires and everything. This could be a bit of an improvement thing by being a little bit more out. So let's find out. Toss this other one on here. Good old Dragonfires. Just ordered these online, and a lot of these things are missing for ease of purchase all over the place right now. So kind of got lucky with these. I actually ordered 1 inch for each side. Got 1.5 inches. So it may or may not be what I was hoping for. I'm sure every 1.5 or sorry, 1/2 inch adds to more wheel spacer issues, but I think this machine can handle what's going to happen here. So we'll just torque these guys on. Ooh, okay. Just lost a couple of lugs on. One, and let's get number 2. Okay, so yeah, these rims are kind of neat. You got the spacer lugs showing, so if you ever want to watch them, you know, you can give them a little mark, so you can watch them, see if they're backing off or not. But kind of you can get that at them as well. So take off either set to get the wheel off if you want. Depends on how things go or what breaks on the trail. You never know. So stepping back. New boots. Talking Bootylicious. Dang. Alright, so we're going to let this down and we're going to start her up, roll her back and forth a few times, get everything to settle. And then from there, we are going to check the front versus the back, the overall width, and see how close they are with these spacers. So yeah, as you can see, we're kind of sitting pretty ridiculous up there. So it's a lot of pressure on everything. The wheels want to go up, but they're gripped to the ground so good you can hear them slowly squeaking outward. But so we'll just roll it back and forth, and these 2 wheels should just spread out to where they belong there, right? So let's get her rolling. All right. Whoa, squash. And we're going to check the ride height as well as the 2 widths. It's a Beastie Boys going here. Alright. Yeah, we'll check the ride heights too and see if we got some extra height there, so that we know how much we want to raise this sucker. So it's not warmed up, but I'm just going to roll back and forth anyways here. I feel it sinking already. Well, it sounds ridiculous, but I'm only in my driveway and rolling back and forth on these tires that are 3 inches taller. There's a completely different roll going on here. It's, wow. I'm gonna pump it back, hit the brakes, squash the suspension down one more time. Same thing forward. Sweet, let's do some measuring. I don't know why I'm so excited about this. It's just, I think it's because it's an amazing machine, but when it comes with these 29-inch bighorns, there's some embarrassment factor, which is the looks, and it just rides, and I'm hitting everything all the time. Oh my god, it's so different already, it's crazy. So I don't know if I can show this to you guys, but just looking down, the height, the ground clearance is totally up. Totally up. Awesome. Okay, let's measure. Okay, moment to truth. We're at 13 1/4 before this tire swap. So for height, let's do the height real quick. Back. I am now 14 1/4. So gain a pure inch there. I was probably 13 1/4 to be honest when I did the last shock preload and stuff. And I bet you I lost a little bit since there because it's low mileage still on here. So I bet you it wore down probably like 12 3/4 ish, but definitely gained solid inch, if not a touch more. So let's check out the front. I'm pretty happy with 14 1/4. I might just adjust the preload one more time, get myself to a hair under 15, and then I think by the time I put the weight on, sitting there and all that kind of stuff, I think I should be about right. So here's what I was talking about also, is you got these scrapers here, right? So you know what, they're still inside. They're not as deeply inside there as they were before, but they are still within the rim, so that's good. CV boot's not bad too, but you know, for a lot of the splashing and scraping and all this stuff up here, there should be less of this now, and also just because of the distance here now. And then when I put my guards up there, it should eliminate almost all of it. So happy there. And another thing too is the brake calipers are still buried in there pretty good. So not too bad on that. Let's do the front real quick. Measure that. See if that brought our front up. The front was about 13 1/2 kind of thing. See if we can get it under there. Some people measure from a couple different places for the front, so I'll do one up here. So yeah, to the bottom of there. Yeah, I'm a little low to the front still. I'm hair under 13 there. And then the other place that gets down a lot too is just down inside the wheel well. Basically, if you can see this, from right there down to the ground. So let's measure that quick too. I don't think this phone will stay, but yeah, who knows. So yeah, we're 12 1/4 there. So front needs some work. It definitely sagged down a bit. All right. Okay, now for the width. Just lined it up as even to the side as you can, to the about where the edge would be. We're doing consistent on both tires. And if you look here, we are really close. Hard to tell by this camera, but from a straight line down, we're really hitting at 66 here. So, and now for the front, we have measuring the exact same way. It makes sense. We are a 65. So those spacers being that extra ½ inch each side, we got 66 to 65 up front. Makes sense. If they were arrived right 1 inch on each side, we would be 66 or 65 all the way around, gaining 1 inch total, which makes sense from 64 original. But hey, you know what? Whoa, I'll take 65 on the back for now and roll with that, and 66 on the back and 65 on the front. We'll roll with that because we got it all on now, and that's just how we're going to kind of roll with that. And yeah, we'll test her out, give you some feedback on the tires themselves, how they run, how they ride, everything. So we're going to take this out on a ride pretty quick here. Also stay tuned, guys. I also got a pretty awesome KRX deal going on, coming up pretty quick here. That's all I'm going to say about that, and stay tuned. It's pretty cold out. Just had our first snow blast. Something's loose somewhere. I hear some rattling. Definitely feel being higher up for sure. Feels a little better. My sight lines. Alright, so something was driving me nuts in there. I thought maybe it was a carrier bearing or something in there. I think I found the culprit. One of these things. Shame on you. Who would put that there? Now I want to turn it on again, see if that noise went away. Maybe check the other C2 underneath, because it's probably that person. Oh, gee. This one must be mine. Water bottle, that's more my style. Well, it really comes down to a good ride on these. I just went through the parking lot super quick, but as you can tell, it's cold. I'm not geared up. Yeah, we're kind of freezing here with some north winds coming in. But you just feel the difference overall. You feel the ride height. You feel the way it's rolling on the bigger tires. You can tell. I know my width's a tad wider and everything, so gain a teeny bit there, and also gonna make me muckier inside of it. But yeah, it's gonna come down to how do they ride, how do they wear, how do they perform. I've seen tons of reviews on them. I got a pretty good idea how they're gonna perform. You know, they're not mud kings or nothing, but for a guy like me that doesn't go into the mud nowhere near as much, they should, for the most part, create a lot of fun, but traction on a lot of other stuff. So hard pack, they're a bit of a softer rubber. Look like they're gonna wear a little bit that way. You can't win really, whichever way you go. The tire's not quite doing something that something else could, just like with the machines themselves. So yeah, there we go. Bootylicious is on. So it's got to be better than the 29 Bighorns that sat at 26 1/4. So it's just got to be better. So stay tuned. I'll give you guys a report on how these guys do. Check out. See those dang rattles here anymore. Whoa, look at that. It's gone. Just like that, the carrier bearing is all fixed by itself. Just gotta take the tin cans out.